it's important to know what India's chances are. My brother, don't worry about others. We have to think about ourselves, as it could be the third consecutive WTC Final. We have lost twice, once to New Zealand, once to Australia, but this time we will reach the final. That is the big question, that if we reach, then we might have to play against South Africa, because now I don't think that India and Australia will reach the final. Only one team out of two will reach, all likely to be in the competition. South Africa will come, the first team, and the definite team. Will they not even be able to qualify? If they can't catch up, then I was really trying to figure out what scenarios are left, because the trump card is still far away. So I searched the entire internet and really went to the limits. Everyone has updated everything. Article: has India lost without waiting, my friend? What's happening with the South Africa match? Like, South Africa is winning. It's a change, my friend. And now the current scenario is like this. Just listen for a moment. And I got these by clicking on the aspect. The credit more table has been made. They have beautifully made it. They have used vibrant colors as well. So the first thing is very simple. India has 3 matches left, and I'm focusing on Team India. If you win all 3 matches, then you don't need to worry at all, meaning you'll win the series by 41. You don't need to depend on anyone else. India qualifying means that the first week of January, the qualification will be confirmed. But from here, we need to win 3 matches, and that will confirm it. Then there's no tension at all. But interestingly, if you just 2 matches, you draw at Gaba. How suddenly the rain comes. If you win in Melbourne and Sydney, you only win 2 matches, you win by 31. They don't win. Winning by 41 means 41. But if you win by 31 and lose 1 match, you win 2 matches. 1 match ends in a draw for you. In a draw, I get 0.4, meaning it happens in percentage point increase. So suddenly, if you win 3-1, India will still qualify, and I'm reading this on my phone. Along with that, if India wins by 31, they directly qualify. No one will be dependent on anyone. So the best scenario for India, which they need to focus on, is to not look elsewhere, not peek sideways, and not ask for help from others. So it's simple. Either win all 3 tests from here, or win 2 and have 1 end in a draw. We can't afford to lose even a couple of draws. Will complicate the game a bit, but try to keep winning. I don't see many draws happening anyway. Draws don't happen unless the weather is around. So this thing definitely remains. They lost to New Zealand by 0-3 runs. That is why we are feeling headache. We would have got 100% points there. So if we were sitting like this today and saying, all right, we are now at 11 for the Sri Lanka series, and we are still thinking, pondering, to be very honest, I was reading somewhere else. So they mentioned that what are the chances of India's qualification? They don't give more than 30% chance for India's qualification, by the way, considering our current form, which is not good, but new. So if you assume you win 2 matches, you win in Melbourne and Sydney, but you lose at Gabba, that means you win the series by 32. So you can even win by 3-2. So let's say you win 2 matches, you win in Melbourne and Sydney, but you lose at Gabba. So if you win the series by 32, you can also win by 3-2. It is important to win the series. If you win the series 3-2, then you'll need to pay attention to when Sri Lanka plays against Australia, because there are 5 matches. From here onwards, Australia will have 5 matches, 3 against us and 2 against Sri Lanka in that series. At least 1 game will have to be drawn, and Sri Lanka will have to draw 1 of those 2 test matches. If that happens, then India qualifies. So even if you win this series by 32, you can still qualify. Provided then you would have sought help from the neighbors, and that neighbor on the left is not worthy of any help, is not capable, means he does not do anything in reality. But the ones below us, Sri Lanka, can actually help if they draw 1 match. In a 2-match series, this is possible. New Zealand recently whitewashed their back team against South Africa, and the Sunrisers team is doing well. You can assume that if 1 match ends in a draw and India wins by 32, then Australia cannot surpass India's points. But if that doesn't happen, let's say we end up with a draw at 22. So then, Australia cannot surpass India's points. So first South Africa, then India, and everyone is happy. But if that doesn't happen, let's say we end up with a draw at 22. If we go for C series, then we are out. We lost by 23, having only won 2 matches, and we lost by 41. This scenario, it's also possible. We are completely out, then you have no chance. But let's say 10's in a draw at 22. This is your last possible. You won one, lost one. The Melbourne match ended in a draw, and you lost at the Gabba. I'm assuming that the Gabba will be difficult. So if you end the series with a draw at 22, then you'll need a bit more help, because then India will need it. Sri Lanka has to win the series. They need to win the series by a margin of 1-0 or more, meaning they have to win the two-match series either 1-0 or by 20, because then India need it. Sri Lanka needs to win the series, and they have to win it by a margin of 1-0 or more, meaning they need to win the two-match series either 1-0 or by 20. There's no other way to win. It's a two-match series. So then Sri Lanka has to win this series. That's very clear, because then India's points will become 55.3, meaning 55.3 will be ours at 2-2. But Australia won't be able to surpass us. They lose the test match there, and if they can't win the second one, then they won't even need a drawn series. Sri Lanka will have to win the series there for sure. Yes, that's absolutely right. So they'll also sing to Sri Lanka saying, look, they lost to Australia, just beat them. But friend, this is the reality standing, and tell me honestly, so why look towards anyone for this problem and mess of one's own making? If you remember that West Indies match, of course we were troubled by the rain and we couldn't get a result, and we lost 3-0 at home. Recovering from that loss is really tough. So that's the bigger problem. That's the biggest problem. We did everything but the series against New Zealand. And listen to me, Sri Lanka is currently struggling. England is breaking them at home. I don't know what happened. They lost 3-0 against us. To this day, no one has lost a series at home 3-0 in the history of Indian cricket. That was just finished. So now we are stuck in a situation where you have to keep winning. I've already told you the scenarios. You can check them on Twitter. Crickspect, 41 is perfect, 31 is perfect, but 32 is the story developing. At 32, then you start relaxing, and then at 22, if you even let it slip to a draw, then you'll need a little more help. And if you lose the series, then just forget it. We shouldn't even play. If you lose the series, the story will be very different. Cricket will be very different, because if we lose the series from here and we don't qualify for the WTC, then we'll be in a new cycle with a lot of new changes, new faces in the new cycle. If we don't reach the WTC final, that's how you feel. What do you think? And if you want to see how beautiful the views are on the Sky Journey, you can check out Instagram. Also, show a little love to that channel and take care of yourself. If it ends in a draw, then a little more. And if you lose the series, then just say thank you. And we shouldn't even play. If you lose the series, the story will be very different. Cricket will be very different, because if we lose the series from here and we don't qualify for the WTC, then we'll be in a new cycle with a lot of new changes, new faces in the new cycle. If we don't reach the WTC final, that's how you feel. What do you think? And if you want to see how beautiful the views are on the Sky Journey, you can check out Instagram. Also, show a little love to that channel and take care of yourself. And one more thing, they used to ask me who would be the captain of the R team. I was thinking, what about this? I've even done a poll on it. So who could it be? Captain Rehan, or who else could be made captain? It's important to talk about this. What do you think? Tell me, like, share, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much.